And welcome back to the Minnesota Vikings franchise. We are in offseason, which means it's time to re-equip this team. We obviously are coming off of our second Super Bowl win, back-to-back wins, kind of coming off of a Super Bowl that was lost to history as Madden was kind of broke sometimes. It basically logged me out after the game was over. We had to sim and ended up getting a score that was very similar to what we got in the actual game, but as you can see here, we went ahead and moved over to the offseason, the re-sign players stage, and that means we get to take a look at the retirements. We could definitely change what we end up doing in this offseason, and I've already taken a look, and there's some sad news. The Minnesota man himself, Adam Thielen, has retired. I figured it would happen. I actually figured a couple other guys would as well, but for the Minnesota Vikings, it is just Adam Thielen that retires this year. Really sad to see him go, but was expected, and that's why we really forced that touchdown to him at the end of this Super Bowl. I had a feeling it would be the end of his career, and what a way to end it. A one-hand snag in the end zone. Really going to miss seeing those. He definitely had the most sure hands on the team, but in terms of other retired players, we'll kind of run through here pretty quickly. That's if it will go. There we go. And just take a look. Kirk Cousins also retires. Julio Jones retires. Cameron Hayward. Anyone else? Tyrod Taylor, kind of a big name just because he's been on a lot of different teams. Blake Bortles, Devontae Freeman. Randall Cobb finally retires. Marvin Jones Jr. Tom Brady finally calls it quit after 24 years. So who knows, maybe that'll be the actual year that he does retire in the real life since he's coming back. Cole Beasley retires, Melvin Ingram, Chris Harris Jr., Kyle Rudolph also retires, Cameron Wake, Derek Wolfe, Justin Houston is another one. Anyone else? JPP retires, Latavius Murray, former Viking. He played with us for, 2-3 seasons? Anyone else? Richard Sherman retires. DJ Hayden retires. And then we had an offensive coordinator retire, and head coach Bruce Arians is retiring as well. He said, Tom Brady's finally done. I'm done. I'm calling it. Now, DeCastro is 34. 12 years experience in the NFL. His ratings have gone down, but they're also receiving some perks as well. So he has +2 for morale and then +1 for our coach buffs. So expect some of these ratings to go down a little bit, but honestly, sitting still pretty solid. His actual overall, though, is just a 73. So we're not going to re-sign him in the closed free agency period, but we will definitely look at bringing him back in the open free agency period just to see what's available, see if we could get a bit younger. But we have a lot of guys to go through here. I believe it was 19 guys. Now, Dalvin Rhodes, I would consider bringing back. However, I would like to bring him back on a cheaper deal. I don't really want to spend the $850 on him just because he's 23, he's only 68 overall. He played decently well for us, but we'll come back to him. So I'm going to decline it right now, but we'll consider it in the open free agency. Very similarly with Jimmy Blackburn, he's wanting about $6.25 million over 2 seasons, and he maybe saw the field those last 2 games of the regular season and not really much past that, besides when we would randomly come out in a 3 tight end set. So not going to bring him back now. We might end up bringing him back after the draft because there's some late tight ends that I like my late tight ends. But yeah, so we'll maybe bring him back if he's still available. Michael Pierce, he has regressed. The other R there. But yeah, he's regressed a bit, but honestly still pretty solid. He's still the number 12th ranked defensive tackle. He has 98 strength with the +4 boost from our coaches, and is a balanced run stopper and power rush guy. He does have the +2 morale right now, so some of those ratings might drop a bit, but still pretty solid. Now, with him being 31 years old, he's 84 overall. I have a feeling that there would be some competition for him in open free agency. He's wanting about $9 million a season for just 1 season, and I think that's pretty reasonable. So I'm just going to bump this up to a 9 mil for 1 year. We have a bunch of cap space, which we might need to use a lot of, but we're going to offer this 1 year, see if he takes it. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's returning at this point. We'll check in open free agency, see if he wants to come back. Now, DJ Chark is another interesting one because his ratings to me are higher than what his overall tells me. Now, again, he has the boost from our coaches and the morale, but really good catching, pretty good route running, pretty good release. We just lost Thielen. I don't want to completely restart in the line or the receiver core, so bringing him back could definitely help. He's looking for a 3-year, about $23.5 million contract, so that's not awful, especially from what we've seen in real life free agency this year. There's a lot of guys who probably had about similar production than he did for us that are getting about 10 mil a season. So we'll offer this. See if he takes it. If not, we'll come back to it in the open off-season or open free agency. But however, he's going to come back. He says it's good. We're fine. We're fine with that. We'll take it. He has good size to him, so nice to see that. Kendricks is starting to regress. Both of our linebackers regressed this season. However, both will hopefully be staying and still be starting. And with him, you still have really good coverage. Block shedding could be better, but tackling's still there. So we're going to try to bring back Kendricks. He's one of my favorite linebackers in the NFL. I love watching him play. And he just wants about 5 1/3 mil for 1 season. So pretty team friendly, I would say. However, I'm just going to bump this up to 5.4 just so hopefully he takes it. However, he's also saying he wants to test. He's saying want to play for a new team, but we're going to try to bring him back. I love me some Kendricks. Ham, we already let go. Fuller, we let go. I'm going to let go of Wanham. We'll see what's available in open free agency. I just wasn't a huge fan of his production the last couple seasons, and he's wanting about 8 mil a season, which is about what Michael Pierce was wanting, and Pierce was much better for us than Wanham was. So we'll come back to him, but for now, we will push this until the open free agency. Cameron Dantzler, I would like to bring back. Pretty decent contract as well. He's thinking 2 years, about a little over 3.5 mil a season. So I'm just going to bump this up a little bit here. We'll go with 2 years, 7.3. And he also wants to test. So we're going to have to try to see if we could bring back some of these guys in open free agency. Coming off of 2 Super Bowl wins, however, you expect this to happen. They're going to have a higher demand of pay because they're Super Bowl champions. Ezra Cleveland, again, is another one we're going to have to push off until the open free agency. I would like to upgrade over him. However, if he's the best one there, we would like to bring him back. We'll see. Well, like I said, we'll do that same with DeCastro. Ibukum was a great spot starter for us, not this last season, but the season before that. Now he's 29. Would like to get younger. Eric Wilson, we've already said no to. Now, KJ Osborne played extremely well for us in that 4th receiver spot. Now, he has the option to be the slot guy this year, the starting slot guy, with Thielen retiring. Now, he's wanting 3 years, only 10.4, so, I mean, just bump that up to 10.5. So, 10.5. Worst case scenario, he could possibly be someone who we could trade, but this is a very team-friendly contract for a guy who's been a pretty good threat for us. So we'll offer Osborne. And that is exactly what he was hoping for, so great for us. We have at least 3 receivers right now. Wait, did we re-sign Chark? I already forgot. We didn't re-sign Char, or we did re-sign. Okay, so we have 3 receivers that we trust. We would like to upgrade possibly over a 74 overall, but we'll end up seeing Malcolm Brown not going to bring back. Troy Dye not going to bring back. No here. Cordero Patterson, he got a Super Bowl ring. He's 33 years old, now down to a 71 overall, so not going to bring him back. And we will also not be bringing back Royce Freeman either. Now, Ty Spence, I would love to bring back. He's only 22 years old and played pretty well for us. He was an undrafted rookie last season. However, he's wanting about 3 mil a season, and he hasn't done much. So we'll go back to him in open free agency, try to get him for a longer deal. that's cheaper. The more meets what he's done. So for now, we'll push that off. Now, Quentin Thompson, very similar to Spence. I would like to bring him back. He was an undrafted rookie, but he is now 24 and is only 67 overall, so probably won't be bringing him back. Maybe a practice squad player if he's still available. Torrey McTyer, not going to bring back. And then Jim Rivers, same thing as Thompson. Would consider bringing him back. He has some decent ratings for being what was an undrafted rookie, but again, 24 years old, so we'll move on from him as well. And now the one thing I do every offseason before we even start signing new players is to go through and trim the fat on the roster. If there's someone that was brought on the practice squad that I don't really care about, we cut them. So the first one up here, Rashard Gibson. No idea who this is. CPU signs him, even though I tell him all the time to stop doing that. Ratings actually aren't that bad, but break tackle's pretty low. The moves together aren't very great, and he's 24 years old, so we will be releasing him. We're just bringing in a couple extra bits of cap space for us. We'll keep Christopher Starks. We did draft him in the last draft, so we'll keep him around, but we'll probably end up going back to the practice squad. Now, Janarius Robinson is one that I've wanted to cut for a while, but didn't want to just have dead cap. So we moved him over to the practice squad this last year. He comes back, and now we could cut him without losing any money, basically. Tracy Lamb was interesting. He has 77 power moves and 71 block shedding, and that is extremely close to what Wanham has. So I'll keep him around for now. Would like of him to have some more speed. He's only 70 in the speed rating, but not bad. He's 63. He's 23, so has a little bit more time to progress a bit. And in the meantime, Rashad Calhoun is the number one backup on the line. Possibly could be starting. Patrick Jones, he is 25, only a 66 overall, and those ratings are awful. So we'll be doing the same with him as we did with Robinson and moved him to the practice squad. Now he's back. We can release him without losing any money. And we still have a bunch of money to spend here, $98.6 million. So let's kind of go through here, see what all is available. No high overall quarterback, especially one that's a little bit on the younger side. Have some decent guys here at running back. Some younger guys, some not so much. Zach Moss is a power back. He's 26 overall. Would like to have a good young power back to bring in. And he has some decent speed, decent acceleration, but can break some tackles, can run through some guys. He doesn't have any offers, so I say for right now, put in a smaller offer for him. Say probably, if I could get around 7. All right, we'll go with the 6.99 over 3. It's a low offer. It's more just to toss it out there, kind of see what happens. But yeah, let's take a look on the line here. So Teron Armstead is available. However, he is 33. Would like someone a bit younger. Andrew Thomas is available, 25. I mean, good size, 6'5", 315 out of Georgia. He's a power blocker, so it would definitely work out well for us. He's 25. Let's offer him a 4-year deal. See where that gets us. So that is a 93-point offer. And we are well below everyone else. So people are offering a good chunk for him. And 6.5 over 5. Be a good chunk to pay to a lineman here. It's a 115-point offer. And that puts us up by a little bit. And we'll see what else we have available to us elsewhere for now. Michael Pierce. Bump this up to an 8.95. It's about what he was wanting in the close free agency. And does look like Eric Kendricks is the best middle linebacker. No offers yet. So we'll come in here, bump this up to a 4.5 or 5.4. Be a 90-point bid for him. And I'm just thinking, if you're going to have to do a stopgap, why not bring in a big name player who most likely will retire after the season. Give him one more go-around. If anything, he could help teach some of the young guys. We're going to try that here with J.J. Watt. Doesn't have any offers currently. Bring this down to a 6.5 over 1. Still a pretty good offer here for him. We would want to bring Dantzler back. He actually played pretty well for us. Is a balanced corner. Would like him to have a little bit more speed, but we'll offer him a little bit more than what he was wanting originally. This would be about 12 mil over 3 seasons. Gives us the edge there. We're not finding a whole lot of other younger guys here. So I remember there were a few of some younger guys that I did want to bring back. So let's try to find them. There he is. Ty Spence, 67 overall. And we know he has some decent ability. We've seen it in the preseason, a little bit during the season here, but he's fast, quick. He has really good medium route running. Obviously needs to work on the other two, but could be a decent slot receiver for us. So we'll give him a smaller offer here. I'm thinking, a really small offer. Don't want to offer him too much. That'd be about $1 million per season, which I feel is a lot for somebody who probably won't see the field too much. It's a 0-point offer. We have a lot of contracts out, really, and all pretty big contracts. So I say we jump on over to the next week and see who we bring in. And after simming over to the next week, Michael Pierce will be returning, so we have a DT to pair along with Graves. However, we do get rejected by Andrew Thomas, so miss out on a good young lineman here. However, looks like mostly everyone else accepted, except for Cameron Dantzler. Dantzler says no, he's going to a new team. He wants a larger role on defense, so he is gone. But everyone else did accept, so we are bringing in a new backup edge rusher in Alton Robinson. We have J.J. Watt to be a new starter on the opposite side of Danielle Hunter. Kendricks is coming back, so we will keep our linebacking core starters, basically, here. So David DeCastro also returning, so we do at least have a guard. Only need to worry about one offensive lineman. And then the new corners, DJ Reed Jr. and Sidney Jones IV are going to be joining. Definitely need to try to bring in some more guys. But I also want to make sure we take a look at the scouting, because I believe the week 3 is when you choose some off-season workouts. Richard Wilds is another option here. And he has A lead block, A awareness, and A pass block. We don't know the other ratings, so another very intriguing candidate here. 31 to 35 reps, a large chunk in between there. So a little interesting, but we always have that +4 to the strength. So that's another option. Then we have Clint Hoover, who has really good height and weight is okay. Honestly, very similar size comparison to Dantzler. And with him, we know good press, good block shedding, good tackle. He could very well be a good slot corner for us. Again, good speed, really good strength. Solid option looking like here for Clint Hoover, 22 years old out of Cincinnati. So that could be an option for us to take a look at. Looking at some of the earlier rounds here, there was Terrell Henley, who went up 19 spots during the season. And he has pretty good size as well, also out of USC, like our last first-round pick. He has B awareness, B pursuit. Pretty good speed, strength. Very similar to a lot of the guys that we've seen at safety here. So those are the 3 that we will be selecting for those private workouts. But let's jump back over to the free agency. Maybe try to see if we can find some more depth players, fill in some gaps here and there. Now, of course, we do still have a couple guys here on the negotiations, being Zach Moss, who still doesn't have any other offers, and Ty Spence, who doesn't, but our offer was a 0-point bid, so doubt he would be signing that. But what do we have left? Now, I know in Mr. Hurricanes Giants franchise, Bradbury has been killing it out there for him. He's still available. It's an older player for sure, but he's not asking for a whole lot of money. 1 year, 89-point offer. Pair him on the other side of Denzel Ward. Have Reed Jr. in the slot. He could be solid if we're not able to get a corner. Having all of them would definitely help us out for sure. And as we sim on over to the next week, week 3 of free agency, we do get the accepted message here from Bradbury. So we are definitely set now at the cornerback spot. We don't have to go at it in this season, but if it just falls to us, I mean, why not? But for this session, this week of free agency, like I said, we need to do those private workouts. So let's get those selected. And then, like I said previously, those are going to be the center, Richard Wilds, cornerback, Clint Hoover, and strong safety, Terrell Henley. And we did not get Lawan, and now he gets a big offer from the Titans, which I'm pretty sure he played for the Titans for quite a while. So it looks like he'll most likely be going back to the Titans. And Zach Moss also has an offer from the Bills, so it doesn't look like we will be getting either of those guys. Keep their offers out, but just because why not? And Ty Spence currently hasn't signed either, so it doesn't look like he will be coming back at this point either. And we went ahead and simmed over to the last week of free agency, and like we expected, Lawan went ahead and rejected, as well as Zach Moss. So still haven't found a power back to add to the team here, but we'll go ahead and check who's all available after the draft. There wasn't really one in the draft that I saw, and we still need to find another starter for our offensive line, which hopefully we could fill in the draft. I would like to have them be young, but let's just take a look here at where some of the big guys went. So view free agency recap. League signing, so Teron Armstead, he goes to the Broncos. Shaq Mason, Patriots. Von Miller to the Raiders. Shaquille Griffin to the Jags. And DeMarcus Lawrence, Patriots. Cam Jordan went to the Jaguars, so a lot of people going there. Early on here, Bailey, another Stanford guy, goes to the Raiders. Carl Lawson to the Lions, Logan Wilson, Saints. We ended up not going after any of the linebackers just because we have our 2 starters, and I want some of the young guys to get some time out there. So we might end up bringing in some guys later, but for now, that's kind of the path that we chose to go down. I'm trying to think of players who left. Cleveland is going to the Bills, so the team we previously beat in the Super Bowl, he will be joining them. He is going to Kansas City, so join the team that really taught us a lesson this last season. We brought back Kendricks. Dantzler was the other one who rejected us to join the Saints. Interesting. And we did not find anything else about Richard Wilds, so it's either going to be the corner or the safety. And we went with Hoover, who's still at 70, so it was not him. And then strong safety, Terrell Henley goes up to an 85% completion. So we don't know is his exact talent, but here's what we do know. Physicals, pretty good speed for a safety, not super strong. Pretty good agility there. I mean, just good across the board, really. Skills, B, awareness, C, zone and finesse, A, hit power, which is good for a strong safety. Only C, coverage, B, pursuit. So I'm thinking more of the second round for him. However, we're a late second round. So not exactly sure where all of these guys are going to fall. In terms of overall strong safeties, he is the number 2, the only other guy going top 5. So a little bit to think about there, but I mean, there are so many that we had hard. I mean, basically the first 5 are all on our board. So we have some ability to move things around, and they do list him as a run support, which is semi what I like to do with my strong safeties. I like them to be a little bit more of a hybrid, but good to know, which I mean honestly makes sense with the coverage being a bit lower than the hit power and some of the ratings like that. But that's about all we could really do now. We just need to get into this draft. Now, obviously, like I said, we are picking dead last, or at least dead last in each round. But we have a few extra picks around as well. So let's jump in, get to know a little bit about our draft here. So in terms of picks, we have 1 in the first 3 rounds, all at 32 overall. And then, or not overall, but 32 in each round. And then in the 4th round, we have 2 picks, the 10th and the 32nd. 5th round, we just have the 1, 2 6th round picks, the 10th and the 32nd. Those 2, I believe, were for the trade down that we did with the Raiders. in the previous season. And then 1/7, also the 32nd. So the very last pick, the favorite linemen of mine are all centers. So they're all second, third, maybe even fourth or later round guys. So I'm not looking at going with center for our first pick. Second or third pick would be about where that would go. So for the first overall pick for us, I'm thinking we need to go with corner or safety. Now, we do have a lot of new corners that we brought in that could be starters for us this year, so I'm not too worried about that. But we don't have 2 starting safeties. So Terrell Henley could be a good possibility for us if he's still available in that first overall pick. So let's see where they have Terrell Henley going. So they have Terrell Henley at 46 overall. So we're good for that first pick. So hopefully he would still be available. And then with that second, maybe some later picks we'll need to move up, try to get one of those centers. Definitely something we could look at. So for now, we're just going to kind of jump through this draft. And hopefully our guys don't go before we want them to. So let's just skip ahead here. And with the first pick, it is quarterback Leonard Amerson going to the Miami Dolphins. Lions follow that up with another quarterback, Mark Williams out of LSU. Steelers, third quarterback in Brian Messina out of Louisville. The Bengals go with Bryce Bryan, who we know is a great lineman. He is there to protect their future with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Help them kind of continue, maybe get their first Super Bowl in this universe. Strong safety Deshaun Wilson goes. He was a top 5 guy. He goes to Seattle at 5. First corner goes Evan Dyson, Brian Jenkins, guard. Another quarterback, Josh Baumhauer, goes to the Eagles. Saints go Aaron Lowe, left end. Corin Carthers, right end. Thaddeus Beck. I definitely remember looking at him just because that name will stick with you. Vernon Turner goes to the Falcons. Terrence Tate, another corner, goes to the Chargers. And Tone? I'm not exactly sure. Whitaker goes to the Bears, so we'll be seeing him. Bradley McGee, corner, goes to the Cardinals. Enrique Henry goes to the football team. Chris Weldon, DT, goes to the Ravens. Cesar Vasquez, I remember looking at him. He seemed pretty solid as well, to the Titans. And then Kendrick Taylor, another cornerback, to San Fran. Roderick Harris, and a lot of corners going early, but this was a corner-heavy class. Middle linebacker Dom Jordan goes to the Colts. Mike Pemberton, another linebacker, goes to the Green Bay Packers, so we'll be seeing him. Taylor Ball, not Tyron Ball. Taylor Ball goes to the Pats, another linebacker. Kenneth Felix to the Chiefs. Do they already have, I could have sworn they have at least one pick already in this. Another corner, Quentin Brackett, goes to the Rams. Cowboys select Jamal Jackson, right end. And we're getting close to our pick. Brandon Toll, I'm pretty sure that's the first running back, goes to the Browns. Jaguars go with Taj James. I remember looking at him. He seemed pretty solid as well. Michael Mitchell, receiver, to the Texans. He seemed solid as well. Josh Virgil goes to the Panthers. The Bills select Chris Gilmore, and now we're on the clock. Terrell Henley, still available. He went up 19 spots during the season. We need another starting safety. He's 21 years old, out of USC. USC will also possibly, throughout the next series, will be a big part of it. So a lot of USC guys already on the team. Last year we drafted Graves out of USC in the first round. The same pick. Looks like we'll be going back-to-back USC guys. Henley, we know he has good hit power, going to be at least an 80. Coverage isn't great, but awareness is pretty good starting off. He has some pretty good physicals as well. And he's going to be our first pick. And he's a hidden dev overall. 21 years age. I mean, that perfect there. Speed 91. Change of direction 87. Agility 88. Acceleration 92. Strength isn't very high. Whether he's playing strong or free, not sure yet, but looks like we have a new starting safety. Now, obviously, past him, we need to go with an offensive lineman. We need another starter. So I want to view the board and see where my centers are expected to go. Now, obviously, we were gurued to draft McCord there. However, he went down a few spots throughout the season. He's a second to third round guy. Somewhere within this second round, I want to go with center because these are the best linemen that I've found. Whether it's McCord or Wilds, that's where I want to go. So McCord, they're thinking 24 more picks. And then Wilds, they're thinking another 46, which was about where they had our safety going, just overall 46. So I'm thinking we kind of just get to this pick and see who's available and go with that center. So I'm just going to jump to our next pick, and we're going to see who's there. Hopefully, one of our guys is there. We see the Bills go with a running back in Nicholas Davenport, even though I'm pretty sure they just offered Zach Moss, so guess they're not all too sure about him. But let's make our selection. Let's hope one of our guys is still there. And it does look like McCord went, so Richard Wilds is still available. In terms of all of the offensive linemen that I like, there's a third to a 4, second to third, day 3. So yeah, he's the highest overall, and at least assuming. Now, when we look at Richard Wilds' skills, A, awareness, A, lead block, A, pass block. So all of those are going to be at least an 80. So he seems like a solid player to get. Decent strength, 31 to 35 reps, pretty good agility throughout, and size, 6'4", 301 pounds, 21 years old. He's a left-handed guy out of Texas Tech, and he is our next pick. Richard Wilds, another hidden development, 87 strength, so that'll boost up to a 91, 81 acceleration, pretty good there. Change of direction a bit slow, but does it really matter much? And then 66 speed. So can't wait to find out a little bit more about him, but definitely looks solid. And now the rest of this draft is really just going to be a best available, at least according to my favorites. Not really the best available on the board, the entire board. So we're just going to jump ahead to the end of this third round and take our next player. So let's take a look here. Looks like a left outside linebacker goes to the Bills. Let's see who's available, and if we don't like anyone, we could trade out, maybe trade for a player too, something we could consider. Honestly, not a big fan of any of those trades for picks. I'm just going to kind of take a look a little bit through the trade market here and see if there's someone kind of catches my eye, kind of go from there. So running through, kind of just looking at some possible receivers to bring in as there's no one in the draft. I did find a receiver from the Bills, John Leach, 6'4", 218, really good size, 23 years old out of Kansas State. And he has really good short and medium route running, good release, good hands, speed. I mean, looks like a solid player for us, change of direction really high. All really good traits. So we're going to try this trade here. Okay, the team that we just beat in the Super Bowl, it's going to be our third round pick and Will Harris at strong safety. And it's fairly close, not quite there. In this case, I've switched out the safeties. I'm putting in Jimmy Ward just because I wasn't a huge fan of how he played for us. I want to see if that sweetens the deal any more for him. And it sure does. We have our next move. Instead of the pick, we'll be trading it to the Bills, and we're going to be picking up a new receiver with star dev 79 overall in Leach. And obviously the Bills just picked a linebacker. Just want to see who they go pick with our pick, and they go with another receiver to make up for the one they traded away in Russell McCray. So we'll skip ahead into the later part of this fourth, kind of to see who's available. And I said later, I forgot we had the 10th here. So let's make a selection, maybe. Kind of see what we end up doing here. So another USC prospect here. Matthew Hawkins, 22 years old. And he does have B zone, only D injury, so a little concerning there. A hit power, however. Good speed. I mean, honestly, first in a lot of these, Matthew Hawkins might be the guy that we end up going with there. Because I don't believe there's any secondary players available, which there is not. So I think we go back to USC here, and we draft Matthew Hawkins. Probably going to be overdrafting him here, but had some decent skill sets. Only normal dev, but 87 speed, 77 strength, 85 agility, 91 acceleration. Solid. And now we'll go ahead and skip down to the end of the fourth here and probably try to package a few picks. I would like to trade and find a new strong safety. So let me run through all the strong safety, see if I could find someone that's worth a trade. All right, so after going through all of the strong and free safeties, I've circled back over to the Bengals here. At strong safety, they have Von Bell and Harvey Keenan, who is not getting, I think it was Harvey Keenan is his name, just not getting any play time. And one of these guys needs to leave. So Von Bell, he's an older guy, strong presence, and honestly could be a really good strong safety for us. He's 29 years old. Harvey Keenan was a safety that we wanted to draft in the previous year, but we just ended up not being able to. He's star dev, 23 years old, at an 80 overall. So either he needs to be playing or Von Bell needs to be playing, but both of them should not just be sitting on this roster. So I would love to trade for one of them. Also over at free safety, they have Jesse Bates. So they are set and have an extra guy at safety. So it makes sense for them to trade one of these guys. Obviously, I want to try to trade for the younger guy. So Harvey Keenan, what would it take for the Bengals to move you on? We give them the fourth, and then maybe our fourth next year? Does that sound reasonable? Because they aren't playing him. Bengals take it. They want this fourth and next year's fourth, and we have a new strong safety. I honestly thought it would have taken a bit more, but maybe they didn't like him. They have their two starters. Why would they need another guy? They get a few picks out of it. I don't know. With those picks, they go with Ryan Flanagan, who I feel is way overdrafted here. At least from the ratings that I saw from him, he didn't look very good. We had him on our list just because he is the younger brother of our tight end. But, yeah, kind of shocking there. We'll skip ahead to the end of this fifth here and go with our next pick. All right, so now at the end of the fifth here, the 32nd pick, I think Dyson was the best of the current remaining guys on our list. He just has deep route running, some good speed. Release is a bit low, but that's okay. Not a whole lot of guys have a lot of release, so we will go with Sherrard Dyson here. A lot of speed, 94 speed, 93 acceleration, 21 years old. Only normal dev, but solid depth receiver. Possibly. We don't know all the ratings. Next up with the 10th pick in the 6th round, we'll see if that linebacker is still available, just so we could get some depth. And let's see. So, yeah, looks like everyone is still available. Darren Ewing up next. Looks like he could be a run stopper. Don't know much else past that. But out of Notre Dame, he comes a normal dev. 80 speed, 74 strength, 76 agility, 89 acceleration. Pretty good size to him as well. Now down to the last pick in the 6th round here. See if all of the guys are still there. I believe we wanted to go with Wise. However, Wise is currently gone. Only 3 guys left. We didn't really like Brackens very much. Jacobson, I honestly don't really remember a whole lot besides, okay, so he has good run blocking, good stamina and injury, but doesn't seem to be the smartest with D awareness, but depth guy. We'll pick him up. Normal dev, 79 strength, so that'll go up to an 83 with 81 acceleration, 21 years old. Most likely, I'm just assuming he's going to be a practice squad player, but we'll find out. And with the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, we had a fullback on our board. Is that fullback still available? He is. Chris Devlin. Obviously, we've liked Thurston, but we also need a tight end. This is a 23-year-old fullback out of Texas, 6 foot, 248. Not extremely strong, but decent acceleration, has B catching. It's about all we know is B catching, so someone we could potentially go at, but is there anyone who's just happened to fall really far in this draft? I think we just go with the fullback and call it good. So our last pick, Mr. Irrelevant here, is a fullback, and he has some catching ability with B catching, B stiff arm. It's about all we know. Maybe he could be a tight end for us, has pretty decent speed. We'll draft him, Chris Devlin. And with Chris, what we know is 78 speed, 72 strength, 77 acceleration, 80 agility, 23 years old, normal dev. But now it's time to find out everyone's ratings, the big important part. And here it is, all the important information. We draft in the first round, 72 overall, Terrell Henley. He's a strong safety, at least was in college out of USC. He is a 76 overall, currently has a -1 with morale. They say he's a run stopper, and I would say so. Doesn't have great cover rating, so definitely will be continuing to play at strong safety for us, but he can hit 82 there with a -1, so 83, good acceleration, good speed, tackling really good as well, so needs to improve a little bit, especially with the coverage, but for now, keep him down towards the line, lay some big hits. He is a hidden dev guy, so who knows, maybe a good guy for Harrison Smith to teach up on how to lay the wood, force some fumbles, but also get some picks as well would be nice. What is his catching rating? Only 63, so don't think there's going to be too much of the interceptions, but he does have aggressive play ball tendency, strip ball, high motor. Sounds very similar to Harrison Smith there. Next up, we drafted a lineman in Richard Wilds. He played center in college, will probably be playing guard for us. He's another hidden dev guy. Ratings? I mean, that is pretty good. Obviously, run block finesse is a bit low, but we're a power running team, and he has tremendous lead block, 81. Impact block is not very good at 72, but will hopefully improve. He is the 37th ranked center. We will be moving him over to guard, where he's obviously pretty balanced. I mean, 80 pass block, 80 run block, 78 pass block, solid there. Injury is a 99, so shouldn't be getting injured that often, knock on wood. Stamina 91. Solid pickup there. Solid pickup. Next up, we drafted Matthew Hawkins, a middle linebacker out of USC. He's a 66, so we kind of figured it would be reaching a little bit. And what we know from him is that he needs a lot of work. He's an athlete through and through. He has some cover ability. He can hit hard. It's just, does he get off the blocks? Can he get back in coverage? Those are what we need to work on. But those are the projects that we've taken on at linebacker, and he very much fits that mold for us. After Hawkins, we went and drafted Sherrard Dyson in the 5th round. I think it was our last pick in the 5th round. With the help of the coaches, brings him up to a 70 overall. And his ratings, we see a lot of speed. Honestly, pretty good hands off the get-go, especially with our coaches helping out there. Route running needs some work with the medium and short, but deep, good starting point. Release is a little bit low, but not bad. And of course, we did trade for a new receiver as well. We also drafted another linebacker, Darren Ewing. Later in the draft, he's 22 years old, another normal dev. And with him, we see a lot more block shedding. So definitely just going to be focused on the run stopping ability. With Ewing, he has speed, has acceleration, tackling isn't bad. Hit power, he doesn't lay big hits, but he gets the tackles. So that is fine with us. He's a depth guy. Just give us a lot more depth. We didn't have a lot of depth at the linebacking unit, so that definitely helps out. We took a shot here on Adrian Jacobson. I'm pretty sure I said he would be a practice squad caliber player for us. And that looks about dead on. He actually looks very similar to Nate Herbig. He has some strength. He's a run blocker, a lot more than he is a pass blocker. Run block power really high, pass block power pretty high. So he's a power blocker, which is what we want. So good draft pick in that case. Definitely needs to develop a little bit, but solid pickup for us. And then with the last pick, Mr. Irrelevant, we drafted Chris Devlin. And he is a bit on the older side, 23 years old, 77 lead block, 77 acceleration, strength 72, trucking 74, speed is a 78. Where is the run blocking? Run block 63, not bad. Catching 71, route running's not good though. So be interesting. It'll be interesting for us. Maybe we'll be a tight end, fullback hybrid for us, but honestly, a pretty good draft. And of course, we made a few trades in this episode as well. One of those being for John Leach, a new receiver for us. Going to take on that Adam Thielen role. We'll probably play a bit in the slot. When we traded for Harvey Keenan, he has speed and he has the coverage. He doesn't have much of the hitting and tackling. Hit power only 73, and then actually tackling's pretty good. But we're going to move him over to free safety as he has more of the speed, a little bit more of the range. He was a player we previously wanted to draft. We just weren't able to. And then also be on the lookout for the next series that's going to start. And now that we're at the end of this video, I could tell you what it is. We are going to be doing a Stanford/California all team. Meaning we're going to be doing a franchise sim series. I might play a few games a season, maybe 3 or 4, sim the rest, probably watch a few as well, where we are drafting all available Stanford players first and then filling out the team with remaining players who played at a college in California. This will only be a team that has players who played at a college in California, meaning we can only draft players who played for a college in California. Same goes for free agency. This will be a California et al. Team. So very similar to the way that Parham Crow does the college football state-only national challenges, mixed with what Mr. Hurricane does with the sim franchise series, where he doesn't actually play the games, but he drafts, he plays the GM, basically. So that is what the next series is going to be. I'm really looking forward to it. Stanford is my favorite college football team, so I'm really going to enjoy the players I'm able to bring in. Hopefully we could bring in all of them, and I'll talk a bit about how it's all going to work and what the rules are in that episode. So make sure you stay tuned, hit that subscription button, hit that bell notification to be notified of when this, when this series videos come out, but also that you can also follow me on Twitter, as I'll be announcing when that new series starts as well. Really excited for it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. And until next time, hope you have a great day. Bye.